it's TT. I decided to change my YouTube name to match my in-game name that I've used for over a year now. So that's why you saw a different name at the beginning of this video. But this video is going to be about all things Draconic. The skills, the elements, the offerings, the stones, all the goodies. If you're new to Draconic, then you'll need to start by going to the offerings. And you can collect either the silver offerings or the primal offerings. Silver can be collected by either purchasing, or you can gain them from killing monsters and barbarians. The primal offerings can be purchased or won through events. I have yet to find any in-game play that gives the primal offerings. The silver offerings allow you the following stones. We first have the flawed draconic stone, which does not have any elements. We have the intact draconic stone, which gives you 5 fire elements. And then, of course, you have the different colors. So this is water, this is wind, and then we have the exquisite draconic stone, which gives you 10 of the relative elements. So the difference between these, the non-silver lined stones will only give you 6 of the random unique benefits out of 9 possible attributes. So you get only 6 of the random stats down there. The silver lined ones, or the exquisite, will give you all 9. So then going to the primal offerings, these ones will give you Draconic Stone 2. Same thing here. We have the flawed Draconic Stone, the intact of each element, the exquisite of each element, the intact 2 gives you 10, whereas the intact 1 only gave you 5. The exquisite 2 gives you 20, whereas the exquisite 1 only gave you 10. And then lastly over here we have the superb, which gives you 20 of each element. And I'll show you why that's important later. But these are the best stones. You want those. As you're going through the offerings, it will give you a lot of flawed stones. And once you gain more of like the exquisite or the superb, you won't really need the intact orb or stones. So you can go to auto dismantle and you can pick to auto dismantle those orbs that are not really helpful to you. And those will give you experience to enchant your stones that you do have. And on the right here, we have our point system that will give us extra goodies. You'll receive 10 points for each primal offering. You don't get anything for the silver offerings, but every 10 points will build up to eventually getting a superb orb for free, which is really nice. Those are the best ones. Just to jump to my Solar Kingdom really quickly here, not all Solar Kingdoms have this Primal Offering 3 like we do in Solar 32. Some will just have the 1 and 2, some will have all 3. Just depends on when it came out for your kingdom. But you can see here on the right, the Superb Orb still only gives you 20 of each element. So for this one, it's not any different for the elements, at least for the solar and lunar, but you can see the stats are very different, and that's just because that's the difference between solar and lunar. Stats are very basic in solar. Okay, let's talk about stats. So each stone will have different stats, and you can see that by clicking on them. As mentioned earlier, the exquisite will give you all 9 attributes, so you really just have to determine which ones you want based on what stats you want to increase. And we'll talk about settings in a second, so you can change the settings based on what skills you want unlocked, and we'll touch on that in a sec. So you can use these same stones in each setting, so you don't need a ton of stones, just kind of the placement of where you want them and what they do. But these stones, you can lock them so you don't accidentally dismantle them. You can dismantle, so like this one is a flawed gem, I don't need it, so I'm going to dismantle it, and it gives me dragon experience. You can also, if this one was unlocked, not used in one of the settings, and I needed the experience back from leveling it up, then I can just press the little arrow here, and it will reset it, give me all of the draconic experience back, and then I can dismantle it. You can also mass dismantle over here just by clicking on the different types of orbs that you want dismantled. If I wanted to upgrade, then I would just one tap add, and if there was enough, the enhance button would glow and I would be able to enhance my stats on this particular stone. And you can see over here what it would increase those stats to. Okay, and we're back to my solar account. So this one, you can see I have more exquisite stones, as well as the superb orb. So that's going to unlock all of these skills. Now, before I had the superb, I did have some of the orbs on setting 2, but because now I have the same amount of this is the best that I could do. I don't have anything better to put anywhere else. So I've unlocked almost all of the skills at max for just putting on setting 1. So if I were to get maybe a new red exquisite and I was able to put it in this setting and that unlocked the 5th level of Breath of Fire, then maybe I would drop out one of these other skills and put it on setting 2. That way my setting 1 is for combat, setting 2 for economy, and then setting 3 for development. But at the moment, I have the best that I can. So going through the different skills, you can see the first one here is the Scaled Sanctuary. It gives you a boost to your stats. I've already activated it, but on the left-hand side here, it will tell you what's required, like what elements are required for each skill. Next, we have the Breath of Fire, which will randomly kill X amount of troops for each attack that you do on a particular person or rally. And then the third one here is Draconic Awe, and it will, depending on if your opponent has equal or greater, if you're equal or greater Draconic Awe, then it gives you an additional troop damage and troop damage received. Going to the economy skills, we have the first one here, Wing Production, which gives you a boost to your production rate. We have Winged Gathering, which gives you a boost to your gathering speed. Wise Usage will give you a resource reduction to any new construction. And finally, Fierce Hunter, which gives you a boost for getting draconic chests from killing monsters or barbarians. And depending on what you have activated, will give you certain levels of different chests. Okay, moving on to development. We have Quick Building, which gives you instant construction speed-ups. Efficient Construction, which gives you a boost to construction speed depending on the level that you have activated based on your elements. We have Efficient Research, which is the same, but for research, gives you a boost to the speed. Quick Training, which I talked about earlier, I think. We have a boost to your training speed. As you saw in Lunar, it was only 5%, and I think you could only unlock it once, but in Solar here, you can unlock it to level 2, and that gives a boost there. And finally, Dragon's Favor. This one is cool. So you need 80 water elements to unlock the 3rd level, but it will give you every 23 or so hours you can just click on it and it will instantly give you Dragon Favor. Sorry, it'll instantly give you draconic chests to get more materials. So going to my bag here, this is what the draconic chests look like. I only have one right now, but you can open them for a chance to get draconic stones. If you don't get a draconic stone, then it'll probably give you experience. Or I believe they also give some of the basic offerings, silver offerings, but let's open it. Yep, so it gives you some silver dragon scales as well. Okay, last but not least, we'll go over to our skills, and yes, I just wanted you guys all to see that I was queen. So we'll go over to our skills here. Now, I mentioned a lot of draconic skills in the previous page, but you only see, what, 6 here? That is because the other ones are automatically applied to everything you do, but here you actually have to activate these ones. So in combat, you have to activate your Breath of Fire. All of these consume mana, so you'll see here at the top, that's how much mana you have and your mana production rate. So, you can't just keep using skills over and over unless you pay for it. Now, depending on how your stones are set up, you can switch here as well to your 2nd and 3rd skill. Since I don't have any settings here or stones here, it's asking me if I really want to do that, which I don't. So that is everything I can think of for draconic skills and draconic stones. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe as well for more content, and thanks for watching.